So if we activate the mitochondria in your fat layer, those fat cells, just from the red light, after 8 minutes, they just start growing and growing and growing because now they're getting light and they're growing. After 8 minutes, that fat cell will rupture. All the fat cells that have been exposed to the light, 90 to 95% of the fat within that cell will now be released into your bloodstream. You're free to burn it off.
I know there's so many different types of red. I mean, you can go on Amazon. Right. There's Mito Red. There's a bunch of different. There's Juve.
Right.
So, do you have an opinion on what?
I don't really have an opinion anymore. When it first started about 7 or 8 years ago was when it first started to get really big. Juve was first to market,
right.
And so what they did is they figured out the science, and they were the first people to figure out the science. Once the science was released, well, now it's pretty easy. What you're looking for is it's 100 watts per centimeter squared, right? That's the power you want. And so in a Juve light, it's 100 watts. It might even be 200 watts per centimeter squared. So you have to have the appropriate power to push the light forward. Almost everything on the market now comes with the appropriate power. There are very few people that are, being cheap about it. And you could even go with a weaker power. You're just going to have to use the light for longer. So either way, it's going to work.
Right.
But optimally, you'd like 100 watts per centimeter squared. The change after that is which color light you use. Assuming the power is all equal, the color that you choose will make the difference. If I want skin results, then I want to use a skin light. I don't want to pick an infrared light for deep in my tissue and say my fine lines and wrinkles aren't gone. That will happen eventually from the deep light because, again, those activated cells will eventually work their way to your skin. But if you just use a skin light, you'll be better off. And then, like I said, the different colors from 600 all the way down to 1800. So that's your question when you're going into red light therapy. What color lights are you guys using? And none of them are bad because, again, they're all going to have the overall effect because the blood will get the red light. But if you want immediate results, then you want to know what light you use specifically or which color. And after that, no. You can literally go to Home Depot, and if you know what color to ask for, you can ask for the right color red light bulb.
Color meaning which frequency?
Correct. In this case, 601, 602. But they will actually get darker. So the brighter, the 600 light is a fairly bright red. By the time we get into the 660s, we're almost looking maroon.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
By the time we get into infrared, well, you can't see it at all because they just get thinner and thinner and thinner.
You mentioned blue light. What's blue light?
So blue light works a little bit higher. As we said, red light begins at 600 nanometers beneath the skin. Blue light works above the skin, so it's better for disinfecting. So it's whether you got any ozone treatment when they're cleaning airplanes and they're cleaning medical utensils, they use a really bright blue light. And basically it's just disinfecting. So it's so fine, white light will burn, blue light will burn and clean. So it's your best disinfecting light. Green light is better for psoriasis or things that are happening just above the skin level, right? They'll treat there. The red treats below. The blue will then disinfect.
Okay. So you talked about mitochondria.
To get a free copy of the 12-step guide that I created for you, click on the link in the description below.
Tell me, what is mitochondria?
So the mitochondria of the cell, it's the outer layer of a cell has things in it and they need to be activated, right? That cell is responsible for something. It might be a liver cell. Once I activate the mitochondria, that's the activity center of the cell. So if I could get light to it, like with let's say a flower, the sunlight activates the mitochondria and the flower opens. Enough sunlight, it will overactivate that mitochondria and it will kill the exact same plant. So what we want is the same light effect, but without the killing. So the red light comes in and just like a plant, it takes that cell, feeds it light that it would have never have gotten because it's not on the outside, so it's not exposed to sun. Feeds it light, the cell becomes robust, and it just gets active. It's just ready to act. It's ready to do whatever its individual job was. So red light isn't special in a way that it does special things. It activates the mitochondria of each cell that it touches. Those cells are more active. So if we activate the mitochondria in your fat layer, those fat cells, just from the red light, after 8 minutes, they just start growing and growing and growing because now they're getting light and they're growing. After 8 minutes, that fat cell will rupture. All the fat cells that have been exposed to the light, 90 to 95% of the fat within that cell will now be released into your bloodstream. You're free to burn it off. So it doesn't specialize with cells. It just activates the mitochondria of whichever cell, and those cells do their jobs a little bit better.
Great. What are the misconceptions of red light therapy?
A lot of people ask, is it like tanning, right? Is it going to tan my skin? People will get out sometimes, get out of the red light bed, and they're upset because they can't see any visible changes. It doesn't really work that way.
Right.
So I don't really find too many misconceptions. What I find is people weren't aware of the different light spectrums that I was talking about, right? So somebody will get in and say, well, my acne didn't clear up. Well, what color light did you use? Well, I used a 650. Well, then it might take a day or so for that blood to work around and do its job. If we had used a 600, then perhaps the acne would have cleared up. So it's just an information play.
If you got value from this video, if you heard what you needed to hear, be sure to like it. Comment if you've got a question or you have something to say. Subscribe to the channel. Camelback Recovery provides treatment services for people struggling with mental health, mental illness, addiction, alcoholism, whatever it may be. So if you or a loved one is struggling and you need some guidance and you need some direction, reach out to us. Our contact information is down below, or you can go to our website, camelbackrecovery.com, whether it be detox, inpatient treatment, outpatient treatment, sober living, recovery coaching, sober companion services, whatever it may be. Like I said, we can either help you or make sure that you get sent in the right direction. We help people all over the country, all over the world for that matter. I'll see you on the next video.